Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. We are starting a brand new series of everything related to diabetes, from food to exercise to continuous glucose monitors and socializing. And for those that are new here, my name is Kaajal, Vaghela, a type 1 diabetic of 32 years, your Afro-Desi diabetic girl next door, here to help you and inspire you to live your best life. So this week we're talking about nutrition, the basics of nutrition. So where does our glucose come from? Carbohydrates. What is a carbohydrate? It's your bread, it's your chocolates, it's your fruit, it's even down to your yogurt, but that, if you have it in a certain amount, can break down into a glucose. But we're going to stick to the basics. So let's talk bread, for example. You can have white bread or brown bread. What's the difference? Brown bread has fiber. White bread is refined. So when you have any form of carbohydrate, it's going to break down into simple carbs, simple glucose. The difference is, if it's more complex, i.e. bread, versus juice. Juice is already quite simple. So now, let's go back to the breads. If you've got fiber, brown bread, and white bread, that fiber is going to slow down the release of the sugar, the breakdown into your blood. So your sugars are not going to rise so rapidly and not so quickly. Whereas if it's white bread, it's just going to go straight into your blood and you're going to have spikes. And these spikes are not good, because the more spikes you have in your blood glucose, that's what's going to cause heart disease. That's what's going to cause all these issues in the body. Again, you're putting pressure on your pancreas to keep releasing insulin. As a type 1 diabetic, we're just going to have spikes. It's really not good for our heart. We're already so much more prone to having cardiovascular issues. And now as a type 2 diabetic, your pancreas is working fine. Don't put pressure on it. So you want to try and keep your glucose levels within a certain range and less spikes, because that just keeps your sugars great and your body working perfectly fine. So certain foods have added sugars and natural sugars. What does that mean? I'm going to specifically talk about juices. So I've seen this in stores. You're going to look at the label and it's going to say no added sugar. And you're going to think, hey, I can have it, it's sugar-free. No, it's not, because it's coming from fruit. Now fruit, let's just say you take a pineapple, let's say you took a watermelon, and you juice it, it still has natural sugars. So you will still need to take insulin for it, or your medication for it, but you have to take into account that that's sugar and it's going to raise your blood glucose levels. Now you'll see certain juices that'll say added sugar. So it's going to have this natural sweetness of the fruit, as well as some added sugar. It's going to be a severely sweet drink, but you have to take that into account. So when you're looking at the labels, you have to look at carbs, because as I've mentioned, the carbs break down into glucose. So the carb content is what is important to read. Not just the sugar, the carbs, because it encompasses everything. So when you look at certain foods, certain juices, when they say natural sugar versus natural added sugar, it's still sugar. But if you take into account the added sugar, it's going to be more, you're going to need more insulin, you're going to need more medication. But when it says no added sugar, does not mean it's sugar-free. It will still have something, and that's the importance of reading the food labels. Now, I know there's all these myths around foods that will help reverse diabetes. Take enough cinnamon and you won't be diabetic anymore. No, none of that's really going to help. But I'm going to clear up some myths around this. So cinnamon has an effect on bringing sugar levels down. That doesn't mean that it's going to remove any need for your medication. It may help naturally, it has certain effects on the body, but you still need to take your medication. Same thing for Karela, bitter gourd. Same thing for okra. There's a lot of, especially in communities of color, we eat these things and if you have it, you don't need to take your medication. It's a complementary way of helping your sugars, but that doesn't mean it takes away from your medication. It just makes your body a little bit more sensitive to insulin, especially if you're type 2 diabetic. But as a type 1, no, we still need to take our insulin. So that is some information behind natural foods. They're superfoods. They're definitely healthy for your body, but they are just complementary. So you still need to take your medication, but it's always very good to eat these kinds of foods because they keep the homeostasis, the status of your body, in a healthy state. And now, the most important nutrient in your whole diet is water. We don't drink enough of it. But water is so good for the body, especially if you're a diabetic, because again, you are full of glucose, and now you want to hydrate, you want to dilute so that your body is running at its best ability. And they say 3 liters. Okay, depends on your body size, but 2 liters a day is really good for you. I mean, you can eat the best diet in the world, but if you're not hydrating, it's not going to help you, because what's the saying? You can go 3 days without water. You can go 8 days without food, but don't quote me on these stats here. But I think it's about 3 days where your body is 80% water. You need that water, and especially as a diabetic, whether you're undiagnosed or you're type 1 or type 2, drinking water to dilute any extra sugar, because we are going to be slightly out of range. Let's just face it, compared to a non-diabetic. You need that hydration to clear the body of any toxins, extra glucose, to keep you at homeostasis. That's the best nutrient out of your everyday foods. Eat the best, but you've got to drink your water. I know it doesn't taste the best, or it tastes different from different companies, but hydration is key. Eating well is a powerful tool for managing your diabetes. Next week, we talk about exercise. For more information, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.